So if you guys have seen some of my other videos, I believe I talked about how I am rewatching Justice League Unlimited, at least here and there. And honestly, I just wanted to come here and talk about why Green Arrow might just be the luckiest man alive. And you might be like, okay, why is he the luckiest man alive? I mean, maybe it's because he's rich, maybe because he's like he's this, he's that. No. There's one reason only that he's the luckiest man alive, and that is Black Canary. 100% is Black Canary. And in all honesty, I genuinely forgot how amazing this series was, but also how amazing looking these females are. I mean, they are drop dead gorgeous in this show. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand what they were cooking up in that animation studio, but even to the test of time, it has transcended everything, like genuinely. And today we'll be talking mostly about Justice League Unlimited Season 2, Episode 1. That's when we get a real intro into Black Canary and kind of get that little, tidbit of both of them, flirting and stuff like that. And those moments are hands down beautiful, glorious, and every single thing you can possibly say. It is amazing, and Black Canary is amazing. And the episode even kind of begins with some simple stuff, right? We have Black Canary. We have her calling her partner, aka known as Wildcat, and she's basically asking like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, how long are you gonna be? Blah blah blah. And it's obvious they have a more like teacher-student relationship, or at least mentor relationship going on. And it's obvious that Black Canary is there to stop some sort of gun trade to an extent, some sort of like illegal thing going on. And she absolutely whoops everybody there, even without the help. Like, she doesn't even get help. She doesn't get anything along those lines. So we know that she is a pretty high level of martial arts tactician, and also on top of that has some of the most insane scream that you would ever see. I mean, this scream it literally pushed over an entire truck, made an entire truck crash, legitimately crash, which, hey man, that's pretty awesome. And I'm gonna be honest, that is an absolutely beautiful voice for an absolutely beautiful woman. Now, as we kind of do this and handle all this, we eventually see Black Canary, and we eventually see her and Green Arrow. And the reason really for this, because she really needs his help for a specific mission. And the reason and the main mission that she needs help with is the fact that Wildcat has been doing these underground fights and doing that instead of, his typical work with the Justice League. And that's what he's supposed to be doing, right? Work with the Justice League. And you get a lot of these Justice Leaguers, and there's a ton of them. And the episodes are amazing, involving every single one of them specifically. But this one right here is all about Green Arrow, right? Green Arrow, Black Canary, Wildcat to an extent. But this does lead eventually Black Canary to deciding that, hey, you know what? I'm going to get some help. I don't know who I should ask, but she eventually comes across and decides to ask Green Arrow for help. And the way she does it is pretty damn, let's just say, hot. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Because we get a moment where he's just hitting the bag. Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, whatever you want to call him, hitting the bag, getting a little bit of a workout in. And she's like, hey, like, if you ever want to go a few rounds with me, I'm always up for it. And he's like, oh, okay, like, and doesn't say anything. And she's like, I do mean sparring, just so we're clear. And he goes, well, that would be good too. And we obviously know what he's thinking about in terms of going a few rounds. I mean, she's a very attractive woman. I mean, it's pretty obvious what he was thinking about. And he's a very attractive man. Now, just making that very clear. I think we can admit that. Now, with that said, they do a little bit of sparring, and it's pretty obvious that Green Arrow is better than her, but she's holding back a lot. Like, a lot. Like, it's not even... It seems like she's just some noob. Like, some newbie fighter, new kind of white belt type fighter, but that's obviously not the case. And eventually, they have that spar, right? They go to the ground, and it's like a little lesson in a way, quote unquote, a little lesson. Green Arrow gets her to the ground and has her kind of like in a lock, or like a kind of puts the arm behind her arm behind her back and kind of holds her there. And she's basically asking him now, like, hey, I need some help, right? I need some help from you specifically, and I need the Justice League not to know about it. And yeah, he's thinking like, okay, what do you want? Like, I'm not going to do anything too crazy, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, how about this? If I get out of this lock that you have me in, right, you have to help me. You have to, do what you can to help me. And he's like, you know what? You're on. Fine. Oh, you're on. And immediately she gets out of the lock. And now you don't really see exactly what happens. There's a couple assumptions. You can assume that, well, for one, she's a lot better than what she's given off, right? She's really good at fighting. So she could have just genuinely got out of the lock. She also has a scream that possibly could have helped her, but I don't think that's the case just because, well, you don't hear it. But then also, secondly, later on, you learn that scream could straight up kill people at a certain range. So probably stay away from that in terms of, actually doing stuff like that. But this is when we get a little bit more of that kind of interaction between Black Canary and Green Arrow, which I absolutely love, because we only had 5 minutes into this episode, and you can cut this tension with a freaking butter knife. Like, it is a lot. You can tell that they are feeling each other to a large extent, but eventually that whole cutesy back and forth would stop for a moment. They would hop on a motorcycle, which, by the way, she's like, well, you hold me around the waist, and by the way, she's the one driving it, which is a new level of like, damn, that is super, super fire. Like, that is really, really hot. I know I'm gonna say that quite a bit, but it is, right? A woman riding a motorcycle is pretty attractive. Just me personally. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, her Oliver Queen driving down the road, and you have a little bit of like this interesting interaction, because you can tell that they're feeling each other, but then Oliver doesn't know, right? He's not sure yet. He's like, are we really feeling each other or we're not? Because he puts his arms around her initially, and then she brings up who they're trying to go after, being that of Wildcat, and that basically talks about how he means a lot to her to an extent, this, that. And he immediately lets go. He's like, okay, maybe they're, after each other in a different way. And then you have more scenes where you got this scene where she basically is like, oh, I need you to pay for us to get into this underground fighting place. And immediately Oliver's like, so this is why I'm here? Like, I'm here because I'm rich, right? And you can just get in and use me how you want. But this is where I'm like, yeah, he really is the luckiest man, because she could have just done it this way and been like, look, we got to do what we got to do whatever. But she was honest about it. She was like, look, like, this isn't why. I did this because I trust you, right? I truly believe like you're the only one I can truly trust, because in a way they are cut from the same cloth, right? They are to an extent cut from that same cloth. And on top of that, she brings up the fact that like she needed someone that she could trust, right? She needed someone that she can really, really trust. And you really get that whole idea throughout this entire scenario, right? Throughout this entire scenario, we can see that they have a lot of care for each other, and she has a lot of care for him. A lot of like emotions are running wild between them, but the main goal is to get Wildcat out of this situation, out of this scenario. And well, yes, Green Arrow goes through a little bit of like, you know what, this is ridiculous, this is annoying. Like, it's obvious that you have some sort of feelings for Wildcat, even though that's not the case, in which she basically lays it out for him. Like, no, like, that's not a thing. Like, that's my mentor. That's my this. I just wanted to keep him safe. I want him to get out of this scenario. And this is when Oliver is very, like, boyfriend, husband, protective of Black Canary, right? We get this moment where they're deciding on, hey, how are we going to do this? Like, who's going to fight him? Which that's a whole scenario that occurs when they're trying to get him out of there and stop this whole thing from ensuing. They can't stop it under normal means, so the only way to stop it really is to get Wildcat out of there via fighting him. And Black Canary, well, she's like, I'll fight him. I'll take him on. I'll defeat him. And then they can get him out of here. But it's obvious that the people that are running this place, they're excited for this. They don't care who it is. It's a Justice Leaguer. And they're going to make tons and tons and tons of money off of this. And, you know, Oliver Queen being the GOAT, the Green Arrow being the GOAT, he absolutely is. He's like, no. My girl is not going to fight and risk her life and risk everything and try to fight this guy. So he does it for her. He's like, I'll fight him. And he gets whooped, like, pretty badly. Like, he gets absolutely beaten. And when I'm watching this, I'm like, damn, this sucks, man, because it's like Green Arrow, I mean, he is that dude, right? He can fight. He can, squabble a little bit. He can definitely throw hands. So you got to assume that he has a overarching plan here. And he does. He takes a beating from Wildcat, so much so that Wildcat thinks he's dead. Wildcat thinks that he actually, offed him. And everyone's like cheering. Every single person all around, they're all like, yeah, whoa, let's go, blah, blah, blah. And they're all cheering. They're cheering at literally a horrible thing happening to somebody, a leaguer, somebody who is a good person, a horrible thing happening. And this basically snapped Wildcat back into place. Like, whoa, what did I do? Why did I do this? I can't believe, like, what am I doing, like, with my life right now? What is going on? And Black Canary comes running in, and she is distraught over this. And yeah, they obviously haven't known each other that long, but that connection they had, I mean, that was like practically love at first sight. Because at the end of the day, that's what it really was. It was love at first sight. Yes, it wasn't your typical, like already falling for each other immediately. There was a little bit push and pull in terms of that, like, whole scenario. But their feelings for each other were real, and Black Canary made it very, very obvious the way she felt pretty damn quickly and pretty, like, almost right off the bat. And she is slightly losing it over the fact that he's gone. Like, he's gone. You really did this. You did this, Wildcat. She's losing it. Like, she's like, this is bad, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, he's back. And, well, he took a risk, and it was definitely a risk, right? But he was able to stop his heart with something that he has on him, basically like some sort of like device to an extent, to try to wake up Wildcat. And this was perfect. And obviously she's ecstatic about the fact that he's not gone, that he's not dead. So she's extremely happy. And Wildcat, well, he's really impressed. I mean, he took a beating to basically prove a point. Like, he took a beating to show, like, look, this isn't you. This isn't what you want to do. You're not like everybody else here. And I'm going to prove it to you. And that's what he did. He proved it to him, proved it to Wildcat. And now the mentor of Black Canary is done with all this. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of work. But at least he's done with all this. And this was just one moment, one fraction of of a little bit of what we get out of the Black Canary and Green Arrow kind of back and forth relationship. But at the same time, this was the true introduction into what this is. Like, we did get a moment before, I believe, like in season 1, where Green Arrow is basically saying, like, I'm not supposed to be here, right? Like, this isn't me. Like, these are a bunch of superpowered beings, blah, blah, blah. And then he sees Black Canary and he's like, okay, maybe I'll stay. Which, yeah, Batman's like, yeah, I thought so, right? Like, I thought so. And it's the truth. Like, Black Canary and Green Arrow are practically soulmates. And in this show, it made it so much better. Especially, he's so lucky because, oh my goodness, they couldn't have made her any more gorgeous. And she checks every box in terms of, like, I mean, she's a fighter. She's elite at fighting, right? She's a badass. She does everything you could possibly imagine in terms of fighting skills and stuff like that. And honestly, it just sums up for me. This episode sums up that he really is a really lucky guy, especially a lucky guy that can get a hold of someone like her, someone like Black Canary. But I think you can argue that she's a pretty damn lucky woman as well, because that is Oliver Queen we're talking about, multi-billionaire. And so that's something she does reference at the beginning of the episode, saying like, hey, normally when someone sells their company for $3 billion, they don't come and do all this. They just stay home, chilling, whatever, and taking a bit of a vacation. And he's like, that's just not me, right? That's not my type. That's not what I do. But yeah, at the end of the day, Green Arrow really is the luckiest man alive, mostly because of Black Canary, but it also helps to be very, very, very wealthy. But of course, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about Justice League Unlimited, about Black Canary, the Justice League Unlimited version of Black Canary, and yeah, anything else that you guys want to talk about in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And if you guys did enjoy this video, YouTube believes you'll enjoy this one, so might as well go check it out.